Hey, welcome back, Go Gang. It's your boy Hafu here, and I have with me the new iPad Air 4, the green color. Alright, can you tell? Green, 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 green. The iPad Pro 2020 over there has been my favorite tablet for taking notes, reading, watching videos, but this new iPad Air 4 might just be the iPad Pro killer. This new iPad Air is everything you want from an iPad Pro, but at a lower $599 price point. Wow, a nice Apple product that students can actually afford? 2020 is pretty weird, but there are three things that this iPad Air 4 is missing. So watch this video before you buy. So the new iPad Air has an almost identical design language to the iPad Pro 2020. Boxy, sleek, cold to the touch aluminum, all to showcase this new, beautiful liquid retina display. The actual iPad is the same size, but the screen is a little bit smaller. It's 10.9 inches versus 11 inches. It has True Tone display, 260 pixels per inch, 500 nits max brightness, blah blah blah. All you gotta know is that it's simply beautiful. To be honest, it looks so precious. I don't want to scratch the screen here, I just got this. So I'm gonna go put on my paper-like screen protector. This is gonna protect my screen and it's gonna make the writing experience a lot better. So what's new with this iPad Air 4? Well, there are three new colors: rose gold, sky blue, and the green that I have here. This iPad has a smart connector, meaning it will work with all the previous iPad Pro accessories, including the Magic Keyboard. And it has USB-C, so that means you can plug it into an external monitor, or you can plug your external hard drive into this iPad as well. The bezel is a lot smaller than the previous iPad Airs, but if you look a little bit closely, you can see that it's actually wider than the iPad Pro. It's not bad at all. If you didn't have the iPad Pro for comparison, you wouldn't even notice. Now, the first con with the new iPad Air is that it doesn't have Face ID. I've been so used to just tapping my iPad and having it open automatically with Face ID, but now I gotta get used to actually touching it. The Touch ID on the new iPad is not as bad as all the other YouTube reviewers are saying. It's actually quite fast and super responsive. You just gotta leave your finger on there for a little bit and it will register. I see a lot of people mentioning that Touch ID is better if you have a mask on. Alright, now I'm testing with a mask on. Let's see if this works. Nope. Nope. Mask off. Ah, there we go. But to be honest, I don't go outside, man, so Face ID is still a little bit better for me. Now onto the camera, because this new iPad Air is missing the ultra-wide, the flash, and the LiDar sensor. That doesn't really bother me too much. I've had the iPad Pro for around 4 months now. I probably use the back camera less than 10 times in 4 months. Let's be honest here. Most times when we're using the iPad, we're using the front camera because we're either on Zoom or we're taking selfies, you know? Damn, I look pretty good here. Damn, you look good, man. So missing the ultra-wide doesn't really bother me. Could see how the LiDAR sensor would be useful in the future for augmented reality stuff, but we're not there yet. Don't need to worry about it now. The new iPad Air still has Apple Pencil 2 support, and it magnetically attaches to the side and charges on the side as well. Now, the new iPad Air is actually better than the iPad Pro, even though it's cheaper. It has a new A14 Bionic chip. Even though it has a little bit less RAM, it has a faster processor. In day-to-day performance, you probably wouldn't even notice any difference between the two. I'll do a comprehensive test in my comparison video coming up next week. But all you gotta know right now is that I am able to edit 4K 60 FPS video on my new iPad Air smoothly without any hiccups. Now that brings us to the big differentiator between the iPad Pro and the iPad Air. The new iPad Air is missing the ProMotion screen, meaning it's a 60Hz screen versus a 120Hz screen. A lot of YouTubers are stressing out a lot about this feature, but in my opinion, it doesn't really matter that much. You probably can't tell the difference. But let's do some side-by-side comparison of some common apps you might use when you get the iPad. First, let's try taking some notes. This is where we'll probably see the biggest difference between these two screens. Follow the tip of my pen very carefully with your eyes. Do you see that there's a little bit more lag on the new iPad Air. And if you couldn't tell already, I have my paper-like screen protector installed on this iPad, and the note-taking experience is a lot better because of it. And if you're a student, you're gonna love this because the normal glass that the iPad comes with is super slippery. It doesn't give you any tactile feedback when you write. So you're not gonna enjoy taking notes on it without the paper-like. And if you draw a lot, you're gonna love the paper-like as well. And by the way, if you wanna grab your paper-like screen protector, you can use my link in the description. Top link right there. They sponsored this video and allowed me to make this review. Now on to YouTube. You might notice some differences here. Oh, and after I finish this video, I gotta go watch the new Borat that's coming out today. You can tell that the iPad Pro is just a little bit smoother. But the new iPad Air screen is still very nice. And after a long day of procrastinating at home, your iPad Air will still be with you until the very end because the battery life is amazing. Simply amazing. Once it runs out of battery, guess what? It comes with a charging brick and a charging cable. 20 watts, so fast charging too. That's value right there. Again, all this just comes in at a very affordable price of $5.99. Growing up, my Asian parents would never buy me anything nice, anything expensive. Perhaps if this iPad was around back then, maybe my parents would have bought it for me and I wouldn't have to carry this brick to school every single day. Look at the difference here, eh? Who am I kidding? They would never buy the iPad for me. That's why I bought it myself. For my sister. This is for you.
Thank you so much.
So now, she doesn't have to suffer what I suffered. Oh, and about the storage options. I went with the 64GB version, and I would probably never buy the 256 version of the iPad Air because it costs almost as much as the iPad Pro. At that point, might as well just buy an iPad Pro because that's 128, which is enough for everything. Stick with 64 gigs because it's probably gonna be enough since you won't be taking that many videos or photos on your iPad. This is probably the best value product that Apple has released in a long time because it gives you a premium experience at a relatively affordable price. I would say if you've been waiting to buy an iPad for work or school, this new iPad Air is the one to pick up. Don't wait for the new iPad Pro because it's not worth it. I'll be making a very detailed iPad Pro 2020 versus iPad Air video coming up next week. So subscribe and turn bell notifications on if you want to see that. Join the Go Gang. We're almost at 100K, baby. If you're not subscribed already, I would really appreciate it if you could subscribe and help us hit 100K this month. My name is Hafu. How do you spell that? H-A-F-U. Remember that you are the Go Gang, alright? Hafu Go Gang. Oh, and one more thing. If you're thinking about getting the blue color, I'm just gonna warn you that it looks a lot like the silver. While you wait for the comparison video, check out these iPad Pro videos that I already have, and get your paper-like screen protector in the description below. I'll see you in the next video. Peace.